YouTube, how we doing? PPS here, YouTube play of the day. We got two spots for you guys. College basketball today. Coming at you guys after I believe we had one play last week. Ended up on that, I believe, on Thursday. Ended up cashing in on South Dakota, 86 points against Denver. Slower game to start, but it was a nice little pickup. So move us to 19 and 16, 1.95. Again, just trying to keep on trucking along. And getting after these. So got two spots, and let's get it started. We'll start out in my game, my Toledo boys. I'm going to go to their first half over yet again. Toledo, absolute wagon, as you guys already know. First half, they're averaging 37.5 points per game. Obviously important because they don't really change home road in terms of how much they score. And the team they're playing, Miami of Ohio, does, right? Miami of Ohio is at home today. They're averaging 38 points per game in the first half on the season, 35 on the road, 42 at home. So this is a big difference for them. Obviously, this is a huge game. Miami of Ohio is actually ahead of Toledo in the conference, and really need to get this one. If you want to look at numbers, Miami of Ohio is a top 100 team in terms of pace. They are 99th. Offense is decent. The biggest issue is Toledo's defense is absolutely atrocious, and they're still 332 in the country in that aspect. Miami of Ohio is actually a very, very good three-point shooting team. Their top three guys in terms of scoring are Elmer, Kraft, and Suter. Those are last names. 34% for Suter. Kraft is 41%, and Elmer is 40%. Mind you, that is a lot of attempts. Cam Kraft has 155 three-point attempts, and he is shooting 41%. That is very, very good. If you want to look at numbers a little bit more in depth, he's averaging 16 points per game at home, 46% from three-point line on the year at home. So obviously really, really important there. Rebounding, obviously Toledo is not a good rebounding team at all. If you want to look at first half points allowed for these teams, Toledo is always pretty high in that category. They're allowing 37 points per game to everybody, right? That is to everybody on that spot. When you go to Miami of Ohio, they're allowing about 35. I just think that space is going to keep it rolling. And, Toledo is a team that they just don't slow down. They don't slow down even if they're winning. And sometimes that's the issue is I don't think they can really stop anybody. I would be actually very interested to see if they could stop a team if it was necessary. You look at Toledo right now, they are ranked, I believe it's 274 out of the 360 in terms of three-point percentage allowing 35.5%. Over their last 3 games, it's been 40%. So we've seen a little bit of uptick there just because of how fast they play and how many open looks we see. So I think this is a fast-paced game. I think Miami of Ohio comes out, punches them in the mouth a little bit. You get a home atmosphere in a big game in conference, 2 versus 3. Maybe we get a little bit slower pace in the second half just because the teams might actually play some defense. But I think this starts quick, starts fast. Both teams want to run. And obviously Miami of Ohio should be able to pretty much do whatever they want in the transition period because it's a very, very bad, very bad transition defense from Toledo. And pretty much everything defensively is pretty bad for Toledo here. So looking forward to this one. And I will be having a big bet here on Toledo first half over 75.5. Number 2, going to probably the game of the night, I would assume, in a lot of people's eyes, it's going to be Texas, Alabama. Texas gets a home matchup with Alabama. Again, this is a tough spot for Bama going here to Texas. They just don't play enough defense for me. I was wondering if they're going to put them as the number 1 team in the country. And their defensive metrics are just not they're just not that good. Obviously, they play fast, number 1 in tempo. It says they're ranked 40th defensive rating. I don't know if I believe that, but I think Texas has to come to play today. Trey Johnson, 19 points per game, 38% from the three-point line. Kaluma, 41% from the three-point line. Jordan Pope, 37% mark, 38%. Alabama, 5 percentage points worse against the three-point ball on the road this year. Points per game allowed on the road is pretty staggering, guys. Like, Bama's obviously not good defensively, and we talk about that all the time. But Alabama on the year right now is allowing 84.5 points per game on the road this season, 78.4 overall. Just looking at the tempo, Texas is not a team that really runs a ton. Just numbers wise, they're like 206 in terms of pace, which isn't great. But obviously, I just told you Alabama is the number one team in terms of pace in this spot. I think it's obviously huge that you're getting a home spot. Obviously, they played Tennessee. They scored 70 on Tennessee at home. Obviously, that's a very good team. They scored 82 against Auburn at home. Obviously, really good to see that. Just home numbers are so much better. I mean, 70 points against Arkansas, obviously not a great look there, but like they're losing all of the games on the road, right? They're losing at Vandy, terrible loss. You're going to Ole Miss, not a bad loss, but still losing on the road again. They lost by 25 to Florida, 24 to Florida at Florida. Really, their last good win on the road was Oklahoma, and they've kind of fallen apart a little bit. So I think this is a big spot, big atmosphere. Coming off of a bad Vanderbilt loss, I think that this is a game here that we're going to have to turn it up a little bit. The two losses there to Arkansas and Vanderbilt, those were supposed to be your wins, guys. Like you now have to play Bama, and then you get a weekend game at home against Kentucky. So these are huge games. I think Texas is going to come out with their head on fire, man. They have to. They have to win this game. And really, you're not slowing down this Bama offense. This Bama offense is elite, obviously top three in pretty much every category you look at. And I just think that you're going to have to offensive rebound. That's going to be a huge opportunity for these guys because obviously Bama is terrible on the defensive glass. Looking at these guys on the offensive glass, that Arthur Kaluma is going to be huge. I see Caden Chendrick also with 66 offensive rebounds here on the season. And he is only playing 21 minutes per game. So maybe we see a little bit more size here trying to attack the glass. I just think this pace in these spots, and this is just a big time Texas spot, in my opinion. I think Texas has to get this game. There's no other option. Like you're not even in the picture. You lose this one, then you have to play Kentucky, which is another tough one. They'll probably be 5-point dogs there. And then you end the season with a few wins there. You got Georgia coming. You already lost to Arkansas, so that's not a free win. And then you get Mississippi State and Mississippi State. Tough place to play. So you need these. I think this is a must-win Texas spot. Sign me up. I'm going to roll with Texas team total over 80.5. And Toledo first half over 75.5 at -110. So thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you as always. We'll be back tomorrow. Pass the prop for some more basketball talk and hopefully get you guys a couple more winners. So have a good one, guys, and catch you tomorrow.